Okay, let's continue. I don't know, I guess... Well, we just started the investigation, right? There's three more people for me to question. Looks like he's got a short window to meet me in Queens a few hours from now. Willets Point. Hey! Single suggestion, get ready for action. What do we got? Hide and seek for dummies. Oh. So I'm getting followed. What's going on? He's been following me for 10 minutes, and so far he's managed to bump into an empty newsstand, make enemies of several cab drivers, and even got bitch slapped by a living statue while trying to blend in. Oh, hell. He springs up into the nearest alley. I wonder if he thinks that somehow I did not notice. Stop working. Uh-oh, whoa. Check it out. Oh. Oh, he knows. Not like you can use that anyway. This yours? Start talking and I don't crush this thing to pieces. I'm cornered, yes, I'll talk. Just throw me the phone, please. No. Information first. Oh, he knows his name. My boss, he's an important guy. You want to be in his good side, let me tell you. Okay. He doesn't know what the Camarilla is. Oh. Huh. Wow, no answers. So I'm getting followed. Oh, nope, I couldn't reach her, but I know for a fact Hope is here. Is there. He pointed to the direction of a double spiral building. Well, what's she doing there? I understand she's the current leader of the company. Acting CEO, to be exact. No, you're pulling my leg. The company that brags about creating IT solutions of the future, always surrounded by rumors of monstrous workers' abuse, all sorts of ethical violations, trading information with governments, and ending the career of a certain promising journalist and professional fuck-up who attempted to investigate them seriously. You might be able to ask her both professional and personal questions. 2 birds with 1 stone. I don't get it. Last time I checked, the company belonged to Kara Montgomery. I'm told she quietly took a sabbatical a few months ago, and it sure looks like the kind of sabbatical you don't come back from. For backstabbing? Not a single corporate shark is as good as drawing blood as a patrician kindred. Pretty sure there are bigger powers involved. Clan Ventrue. Real Wall Street type motherfuckers. The name of the game with the Ventrues, power and wealth bar none. The historical leaders of the Camarilla, they hold more positions of power than any other clan, and that won't be changing anytime soon. They believe in lineage above all. Who a sire chooses as child can make or break her position in the clan. Venture often aim to embrace the well-connected and those at the apex of their industries. Common criticism is that their goal is nothing less than domination over all kindred, no matter what the cost. Whispered nicknames you might hear behind their backs include Little Lords, Borgias, and Tyrants. While more respectful ones will be Blue Bloods, Patricians, or Warlords. Unsurprisingly, Prince Panhard is one of them. Perhaps partially due to the fact her sire was prince up until her untimely demise in 1999. A lot of them hate the Lost Summer with a passion. I remember I was shocked when I first learned that one of my nemesis back in my old life was a vampire all along. When I realized her position made her untouchable to me, I was beyond mad. Excuse me, last time I checked, you were the expert on the company. I just handled basic intel for you, even though I shouldn't even really be here. So is Hope just another corporate shark? Well, she is the child of Carter. Theatrical pause, he smiles as he sees me wince. But very much unlike him. He took her in for her particular multifaceted talents related to the internet, knowing he's hopelessly behind the times in that regard. I hear she's been unruly though. Well, unruly is good. I can work with one. So you're telling me she might not be a stuck-up startup bitch? Language. As I've told you a few times now when it comes to the internet, just assume I haven't the slightest idea. Again, there myself. I haven't been able to check my email for 5 months. I have no idea what the kids at BBB are talking about most of the time. God, I might be getting old. Don't worry, the moment you realize you don't give a damn about most fads you would have cared about years ago is a liberating one. Been there, done that, at the beginning of the 20th century. I don't have much time, so I'll get straight to the point. Shouldn't be looking at anything in the main building. It's just a front. Ignore it. What you want to do is use the elevators to get to the lowest floor of the building. I hear stories about the double spiral basement, but I had no idea what to make of them. Every source told me a different rumor. Did any of them tell you a rumor about an army of underground ghouls? No, but I'm all ears. Double Spiral employs an army of ghouls as cheap workforce. They work and live underground, away from prying eyes, with lesser rights than regular kind employees. Perfect for business. Wow. I'm actually speechless for a second. I had profoundly low expectations at that company, but every time I learn something new about what's going on behind the scenes, I'm still surprised at the level of scumbaggery at play. I'll leave the moral judgments to you, expert. In any case, you need to reach room number 507, where the CEO supposedly resides, and then can hope to answer your questions. Speaking of, if you ever got any left for me, it's now or never. I'm needed at the Oracle. What's the best approach? That is, scout the situation and decide. Stating the obvious. Okay. Look on your mission, soldier. Better stay covert. Okay, cloak myself in shadows, let my instinct take over. The lobby isn't well lit, so it's not hard to get behind a lone security guard. He does notice something's wrong with the security cameras and hits the display a few times. But once he's done, I'm already inside an emergency staircase, making a descent. Okay. Cameras, body heat sensors, electronic locks. Still, I'm managing. Okay. I reached the double spiral offices where, just like Kadir said, hordes of ghouls are slaving away for their company. Deep learning, spyware, social media manipulation, yada yada. The important thing right now is everyone's staring at their own screen, so it's easy for me to keep sneaking. Aside from the fact she still seems to be on my trail, only slowed by the fact she's thorough in her search, I better pick up the pace. Oh, wow, you just announced yourself after Metal Gear Soliding all the way to the end. Meet you in the offices, be right there. Looks like you made it past poor Nastia. Get back to the office and keep her company. She's probably beyond pissed off about you eluding her grasp. But don't make it a big deal, okay? What's up? On one hand, clothes you can reasonably expect to find in any CEO's wardrobe. On the other, a body covered in tattoos, flashy jewelry, dyed hair, and wild makeup. The thought she might be yet another CEO playing the nonconformist crosses my mind, but she strikes me as someone who's more than happy to live in her own little bubble. Still, I won't be fooled. She is the boss of Double Spiral. How did you find me? Can't smoke in here, lady. Just let her. Come in peace. So when did you realize I was here? Right at the start. There was a momentary laser malfunction. Lasted a second or two. Hasn't tripped an alarm. But I guess something was off. That's it? Hunches have gotten me every job I've ever had. Hunches saved my life any time I got into a messy situation. These days, the reality is too complicated to rely on anything else. Can't find a better head of security than our Nastia. And her hunches are the main reason why. They're like a sixth sense. A rebel, huh? What's the idea? I've always been into alternative shit and hating the system, and I've been dressed like this for a while. Long before I got a taste of hope. No moral confusion about it? Lady, in this city we're all corporate dogs in one way or another. I just cut out the middleman. More money for me, more time to pursue my own thing. So you're a sellout. Please, check the bio of any music icon who presents themselves as a radical. Their parents? Always these rich fucks. Military, CIA, predatory loans, old money, whatever. And they never own it, always squirming any time someone asks about their position of privilege they've used to sell their maverick image. Me? I have to get my own hands dirty to get anywhere, so I will. Well, surprise, I actually get her. That cynical attitude is too tempting. Okay. CEO now, I have a lot of duties I must pretend to handle. Sure, yeah. Call me if you need me. I got a weird hunch about this one. Okay. People had me fired from my job before I was embraced. Ah, you're that Sawinski girl from Lodestar. Yeah. Somehow I never put two and two together. So you're the La Sombra rep for the city now, huh? As she's talking to me, she keeps tapping at her phone with terrifying speed. I don't feel like I have her full focus and it's getting on my nerves. Just so you know, I have no idea why you've taken Kara Montgomery's place. And I doubt you tell me, but the bitch deserves to burn in hell. Hell yeah, she does. Wait, did you just admit? Hold your horses. No, Jesus, this is why normal CEOs pay for PR people to talk for them. I only agreed she's a horrible person in every way that counts. Nothing more. Does she know that's why you think what you think of her? Why did she let you take her position in the first place? I'll just cut through the bullshit, okay, Miss Lodestar? I guess this is about Jesse and Kara covering his creepy ass. You spent months on this case and you like some closure. Pretty much. Well, here's your closure. Double Spiral has severed practically all ties with them. They don't work here, they get no company money, they probably won't ever show up here again. The company's not their circus anymore, and the workers not their monkeys. I'm in charge. So yeah, if there's anything you'd like from me, I'm all ears. It wasn't just Jesse and his sister. This company has ingrained structures of abuse and immoral. I've ordered internal investigations and audits. Everyone related to those illicit activities was disciplined. Legal actions, firings, rebukes, all depending on the severity of their misdemeanors. I don't have a stomach for all that creepy corporate shit, so I'm trying to steer this ship in the right direction. Don't know what else I can tell you. Well, the Montgomery clan is over. The queen bitch, a symbol of everything that's wrong with tech CEOs, is gone. Jesse, that perverted, embezzling son of a bitch, is gone. I should be glad, so why is there a sinking pit in my stomach? So that's capitalism, huh? Is it? I think it's something worse. When I look at the online world, I don't see capital ruling us. I only see incomprehensible vectors, unknown entities constantly opening and closing various markets of information. This is something worse than what familiar 20th century terminology taught us. I don't know what it is, but it's terrifying. And it will continue until we give it a name, but... You look like you need emotional support, not my depressing philosophizing. Well, shit sucks, and I'm sorry. The biggest case in my professional life, solved by some weirdo who fucked Karen and Jesse over in presumably underhanded ways. Doesn't get any more anticlimactic than this. Fucking hell. I want to ask her how she did it, but why would she tell me? All I can guess, she's an outcast who decided to get her hands dirty and obtain power to do something she considered good. Something I've always been afraid to do. Right. A few days ago, the Anarch Baron was found dead in his office. Are you familiar with the case? Douglas Callahan. Of course I'm familiar. Every kindred online is talking about it. And what are they saying? They're accusing everyone. I mean, it is the internet. Are they accusing you? Why would they do that? I found a peculiar note in Callahan's remains. It had your name on it. Huh? What can you say about this? Nothing. I never met the guy. I've never even seen him. He wasn't my crowd. Then why would he have a note with your name in his pocket? Why were Walt Disney's last written words Kurt Russell? No clue. I watched her closely, but nothing suggests she's hiding anything. Well then, the note actually contained 3 other names and nothing else. Agathon, D'Angelo, Tamika. Ringing any bells? Her finger, which hasn't stopped moving across the phone touchscreen since I first saw her, freezes. Yeah, it kinda does actually. It's a short list of promising unaffiliated kindred that was making the rounds at NYC a few months ago, in case anyone needed a hero for hire. I didn't know Callahan had it. I know Sophie Langley did, as well as a few Primogen. Not sure about the Anarchs. Who could have prepared this list? One of the local information brokers. Short but telling pause. Anonymous. How anonymous? Sort of anonymous. She's obviously conflicted about whether she should tell me. Or maybe she's pretending it so I worm it out of her. I've been a good sport ever since I walked through her door. Maybe appealing to her sense of morality will work. I really need your help. I want to prevent the tensions between the local anarchs and the court from escalating, and every lead helps. She briefly considers our options, then gives up. It's my sire, Carter Vanderwyden. Oh. He's brokering information? Everyone knows becoming the Prince of New York is his ultimate goal. And he wants to make friends in all the high places. Sharing useful intel is a pretty effective way to achieve that. So you're telling me that he, a Malkavian Primogen, sold this list to an Anarch Baron? Sure looks like it. Why would he suggest his own child to somebody? To have a person on the inside? Just another way to further his information web? Wouldn't they realize you two are close? The story going around is, he left me alone, I hate his guts. Well, at least half of that is true. She's talkative, probably sees me as a way to undermine Carter. Let's see how much further I can push her. I was wondering how someone like you could control a company like Double Spiral. I suppose a friend in high places would explain it? Yeah, lucky me. Not happy about being a boss? Boss, huh? Stares at dozens of displays on the wall in front of her. Do you remember the Y2K era internet? Jesus, I barely remember the internet at all. My people can't really use it. But yeah, I guess I sort of remember. Forums, GeoCities, browser wars, all those handmade amateurish website pages. It was a golden age. Everyone was welcome to freely express their creativity and obsessions in this abstract new frontier. No formulated rules. Every site was a distinct new universe to explore. I guess it makes sense that kids, younger kids these days would not remember this. But in the beginning, there was actually not a lot of content on the internet because the internet was a new thing, right? So there weren't infrastructure up to produce content for this stuff. It was mainly user-generated content. You want to make a GeoCities page or Angel Fire, you can do it, you know? It was not hard. It wasn't the barrier to entry wasn't very high. You could make your shitty GeoCities page, and if you had compelling, if you had compelling content, everyone's page had that had that visitor counter or the logbook for you to sign, visitor log for you to sign. You know, as a kid, for some reason, I kept saying saving every web page that moved or changed me in some way. I don't even know why I did it, but today, a folder with these is one of my greatest treasures. Fast forward to today. I'm the boss of a company that has one overarching goal: steer the online narrative in every possible way that benefits the Camarilla. And because the online world is so fucked right now, I can only do it using 5 websites or so. Every day I deploy thousands of believable sock puppets to force some belief on the masses. Right now they're being managed by these ghouls. Soon they will be partially managed by AI. Basically an all-American version of the Chinese 50 Cent Party. A new pattern of public opinion guidance. Ever since I was a teen, I've pretended to be different people online for fun. Aping the posting patterns of others was something I was turning out to be horrifyingly good at. I became even better at it after the embrace. Something about the voice of Malkov in my head. After several years, I became a one-person internet empire. I could impersonate anyone. Oh, she makes up, like, personalities online to post with for fun? Hold off. A single mom from Brighton who reckons all these trans women must be bongers and spends seemingly every waking moment of her life having a row with anyone who disagrees. Wow, we're making fun of J.K. Rowling stands. Polygon classicist. Polygon classicist, a 19-year-old kid from Utah who keeps posting Y2K 3D renders of poorly proportioned, scantily clad ladies and telling his audience to remember what they took from you. Somehow this talent got me here. Where it's no longer fun but work. Work I usually entrust to these ghouls because of all my duties. I want out before my entire fucking mind gets monetized. But Carter won't have that, so I'll keep doing my best for both him and Double Spiral's investors. I assume most of your operations focus on New York City? A lot of them, yeah. How do you imitate a New Yorker voice with these sock puppet accounts? Living in Manhattan and being mentally unstable makes this shit easy. To a normal, well-adjusted person from outside the city, everyone here seems mentally unstable. Ever watch that 9/11 Howard Stern show? Check it out someday, it's educational. Ask anyone in NYC about it and they're like, it was a great bonding moment. He was helping us make sense of everything. He kept saying what we were all thinking. Then you listen to it, and it's everyone yelling that we need to nuke something. Maybe the entire world. Get rid of all the Muslims, fuck human rights, no investigations, take their oil. Cheery. You watch it, you study it, you witness that specific brand of humor in the face of tragedy, and you understand that nothing outside of NYC really exists for the people who live here. Or the vampires. Once again, I live in one of the less crazy suburbs in NYC. The less crazy parts. Manhattan is a different beast. I acknowledge that. A foundational text, really. Whenever I need to get into that New York mindset for work, I let it play in the background. Works like a charm. Seriously, give it a shot sometime. Someday I might. For now, I think I will confront Vander White and what you told me. Or is it what you haven't told me? What's the story? Me? Of course I haven't told you anything. You're such a good investigator, you figured it out by yourself. And if he asks, just tell him Kaiser sold you the info. That should do the trick. See, thank you. What for? I did nothing. Let Nastia show you out. And if you don't know Vander Wyden's address, just ask her. Oh. Got a little graphic that plays. Yeah, the early internet was a strange place. There was random pages about everything. Cool. Oh wow, we just go straight there. We have no cisterns. Investigation whatever way I can. That sickeningly sweet smile. And this office spacious but oppressive. Here is a man who knows how to subtly unnerve people. But does he even realize it? And I'm sure the presence of the esteemed Addison Payne will guarantee I'm totally transparent. Am I right, Addison? Looks like I've interrupted a friendly meeting. In the far corner of the room, I spot glasses of blood and 2 spittoons. Vices and follies of the rich. How are you handling your newfound responsibilities? I'm managing. I'll start by asking the obvious. Where were you the night Douglas Callahan met his untimely demise? Vander Wyden raises an eyebrow and lets out a restrained chuckle. Hear that, Edison? I might be suspected of foul play. Exciting, isn't it? Carter, no antics, please. Just answer the question. Of course. Well, I was right here. Just like I told Prince Panhard, as much as I love to celebrate my power, sometimes one has to celebrate the amount of work piling up on their desk. So your alibi is you were right here. Otherwise, can you back up your story? Well, I did make a few business-related phone calls as I was working, so there's that. Miss Lewinsky, this right here is my private little fortress. A space specifically designed to make me focus. I don't really let people in to break that focus. Aside from occasional esteemed guests such as yourselves, of course. Damn, you don't have enough. Because I found something that belonged to you on the victim's person. Pardon me? Took the words right out of my mouth. We're not talking about a murder weapon or something of that caliber, of course. No, it was a short list of 4 names, unaffiliated kindred whose services could be useful to anyone interested in toppling the current power balance in NYC. Tamika, Hope, D'Angelo, Agathon. Excuse me, Miss Lewinsky, but I'm afraid I don't follow. How is that something that belongs to me? I have it on good authority. It's a short list you've been shopping around to anyone interested here in NYC, be it the Camarilla or the Anarchs. Addison tenses up, and his host is not happy about it. This is just preposterous. I'm calling your bluff right here, miss. But the bluff is coming now. Mr. Vanderwyn, if you want to voice concerns about the information I have, how about you voice them to Kaiser, not me? Addison turns to Vanderwyn, clenching his lips and gripping his wheelchair armrest tightly. For a brief moment, the ever-present smile on Vanderwyn's face goes missing, and the expression that replaces it reminds me of a horrifying void, like a sneak peek into what's really going on in his soul. He quickly collects himself, but the image is burned into my retinas. To think these sorts of unsavory rumors are circulating about me. I should be grateful you let me know. So you're denying it? Of course I'm denying it. Categorically. You can bet your life savings on it. I certainly hope it is nothing more than an unfortunate blunder. Et tu, Brute? Come on, Addison. We've known each other for years. Yes, and what about it? Well, sweet Jesus, Addison, I'll get back to you in a second. Any more questions, Miss Lewinsky? Any of the names on the list sound familiar to you? No, I mean, yes. That is my long and strange child on your list, but that's just another reason why I'm flabbergasted anyone consider it mine. Well, hope you understand why I'm considering you a prime suspect now. Okay. You seem like a person who couldn't live outside of NYC. By chance, have you listened to this Howard Stern's talk show after the World Trade Center fell? New York, born and raised, just like you said. Of course I did. Your opinion? Same as everyone else? It was the spiritual guidance we needed that day? What? Hold on. Coming from the unlikeliest of places, a visceral response that verbalized everything we felt. A beautiful moment of unity. Yeah, he's crazy. Not that I'm into lowbrow jokes about Pamela Anderson and the typical shock value the show tends to offer. But as far as I'm concerned, Howard did an indispensable thing that day. Why are you asking? No particular reason. I thought it might give me some insight into the kind of person you are. Well, that's the kind of person I am. Just your average New Yorker. So it seems. Well then, I'll leave you and Mr. Payne to your plans of conquering the city. Okay. How are you holding up? Huh. I don't know. That was a bit too, like... That was a bit too on the nose, that last question. Because maybe, given that that interview with Howard Stern seems to be a talking point with Hope, maybe it could have accidentally gotten him to realize that she gave you the information. I wouldn't have risked it, personally. As I passed him the report about Isling and Agathon, I look around, but Benoit is nowhere to be seen. Where's Benoit? I mean, you're the one who said it, not me. Another Paris, taking care of a personal issue for me. Thought you might appreciate that. Listen, can't you think of something to placate him? Placate him how? Benoit won't accept anything less than me joining a covenant. He's like a worried parent. A basic gesture here and there, showing up in church from time to time, and pretending to listen won't get him off your case. I mean, I've been through the song and dance before, with my own worried parents when I was a teenager. Wandering in the forest until Mass was over, not even being able to smoke because they pick up the scent. Not the best moments of my life, you know? And a part of the reason I'm distancing myself from them. I don't need this fake energy in my life, and I'm honestly weirded out by you asking me to lie. I'm not asking you to lie, Julia. Let me ask you this way. Are you a spiritual person? I guess I am, kind of. Well, yeah, I mean, there has to be some kind of afterlife in this universe, right? If you can communicate with ghosts. I think it's mostly because seeing the world as purely material seemed boring to me somehow. You are and you were raised Catholic, so can't you find a way to express that spirituality in our church? I don't see a way right now. Why is that? Too many people who think my soul needs to be saved because I live with a woman, for starters. I don't know. There's lots of reasons. like the sin of drinking blood every other night, or feeling some primal fear whenever I walk by a clergyman, whose faith seems to be actually genuine. That one sounds like an excuse. It's about your relationship with God, not other people. In theory. But back in my old country, I've heard my share of homilies that felt like complete condemnations of my kind, and none that would condemn hate towards people like me. And you know, when church-adjacent people try to stir shit around your very existence every few months, some minimal support would be appreciated. Sorry, all you can count on is silent complicity. I get it. I know there's a lot of work to be done, and a lot of undeserved hurt going around, but... no. Oh, damn. But I remember things, like the story about a guy from my hometown, most macho guy around, with a jaw you could sharpen a knife on. He became an actor in Warsaw, very successful, deservedly so. The capital might not be NYC, but it's still a big city, and big cities go to the heads of bumpkins like us. In his case, it resulted in a dream of coming out to his parents. He was surrounded by all these stories of openly queer people, played one even, so he thought he had a chance of making it work. So he goes back to his town, tell everyone he's gonna live his truth. His dad, a ruling party adjacent businessman, curses him. His uncle takes him into the bushes and starts to destroy him physically. So bad, he gets put in the ICU. His face and jaw get ruined for good. Fast forward a year or two, with his career over, the guy is stuck in his parents' rustic house. With no other path to follow, he turns to God, who tells him to forgive his kid. Everything's fine again. Angelic choirs sing of divine mercy. A kind-looking priest talks about protecting our families. A man sits in the front row of a church, a disfigured smile on his face. But the story alone didn't drive me away. One time when I saw how blissful he was, I could swear he was actually able to hear God whispering. He looked like a saint. It fucked me up so bad I left. I was just wondering about one thing. There's always a... yeah, I was wondering about this too. There's always a cross on your outfit. I like how it goes with my outfit. Is it just a fashionable accessory to you? It's a memento reminding me of a broken promise, that's all. If you're not cut out for this, who is? Sherlock Holmes, Hercule Poirot, Columbo, Mads Mikkelsen's boyfriend from Hannibal, whatever his name was, I don't know. Someone can actually put two and two together. I haven't, but I got no evidence, no witnesses, no promising leads, nothing. I'll just stumble around, assuming things, talking big, blah. So you're like, I don't know, Jack Nicholson in Chinatown, and he actually solved his case. Yeah, except the ending of the ending of that movie wasn't very optimistic. Just saying, the situation you're in sounds an awful lot like Chinatown. Depraved elites, big plans for the city, blah blah blah. That's depressing. Oh, okay, yeah, this was made, well, this came out last year, so I'm curious about what the, so I guess it does, COVID-19 actually did, huh. Let me see. Okay, people are going absolutely insane about this virus, canceling trips and orders, and pretty please. Oh, okay, this is the I'm tired tonight of vampire relationships. Okay, well, that's another day. We've questioned 2 people on the list. That leaves 2 more. A lot of people say you can't smoke dope and get drunk when you get kids, and that's not true. You can, but you still gotta get up in the morning. That's being responsible. That's the one. I never understood why it was so hilarious to you. Neither did I. I just accepted the mystery and made it my personal credo. I'm a responsible person. Plan to have kids? Not in a million years. Oh. Got a message from Kadir. Inside the message saying he won't be able to make it tonight, but we'll rendezvous tomorrow to meet D'Angelo. He wants me to lay low till then. To stay in this apartment if possible. Apparently nobody knows where Tamika is. They only know she's in trouble. He doesn't want me near it. Get to town. Next lead. Probably useless, but the investigation continues. Oh, back to the... like our information spots, a random information gathering places, random burger spot. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised it hasn't already happened, but most of the time Dakota seemed happy just listening to the stories of my own life. Even if it's all boring and normal to me, it's exotic and engrossing to her. Guess I have that going for me. I don't know what song this is. Oh, time to... Prince of Cats. What the hell is this? Oh yeah, man. If you've ever been to Manhattan, these rows of streets will seem very familiar to you. Sense of casserole. Oh. My inner voyeur is squirming for more details. I move a few steps closer, keeping to the shadows. For a good while, all I can hear is heavy panting. Come on, dude, this oak isn't even that tall. Sure looks like it's the first time the guy ever tried. I have never tried climbing a tree before in my life, so I have zero interest in it. As soon as he crawls out of the tree's crown, the dim light, street light, reveals the face of a young guy in his early 20s. Against the spectacular night sky with his exaggeratedly tormented romantic gaze, he truly looks like a hero befitting the cover of a Harlequin paperback. He sizes up one of the longer branches. It seems sturdy enough, and nearly reaches a narrow window on the second floor. Still, the guy says, "Alright, no biggie, just eyes on the prize." He moves a few steps along the branch, his feet slipping every other step on his way to the window. By some inexplicable fluke, he manages to keep his balance. Oh. Branch is bending under his weight. My guy, if you pull this off, it'll be a legit miracle. Oh. He drops to the ground with a muffled thump. Lucky for him, the lawn hasn't been trimmed for a while, and the tall grass cushions his landing somewhat. Well, if his ankle twisted, he's not going to get out of this mess on his own. It's not like I'm particularly law-abiding. Once I'm sure no one can see me, I focus my strength on the gate and pry until the quiet crack announced the lock is given in. The extraction goes as quickly as it ever could. I get in quickly, take the guy by his arm, and help him slowly limp out of the front yard. It's kind of pathetic as hell, but my crusher lives in this house. Her shithead father kind of hates my guts, so we get together in secret. Because of her folks nagging, she can't seem to make up her mind about us. Oh great, we have a Romeo and Juliet story. But you thought it was a good idea to climb up the walls of her keep like a goddamn Prince Charming and break your neck in her front yard. Yeah, but what can I do? Give up on her? When in my heart of hearts I know she loves me just as... Young people in relationships, man. It ain't easy being this cheesy. She's got you good, huh? Wow. Whoa. Now you can just turn on the... Well, time to give some bad relationship advice. Confront her father. No, you bozo. Fix your leg first. Then rehearse the best damn speech of your life and talk your way through the prejudice. Even if that fails, at least you'll show some guts. Dads like that, you know? Daughters, too. Okay. Well. sudden, the world stops. Everything stops. I'm lost in the darkness, and there's not even a heartbeat to guide me. It's like sleep paralysis, except it feels as if I suddenly woke up from reality instead of a dream. Instinctively, I react to it the same way I used to react whenever I woke up in the middle of the night. Aware, but not able to move or speak. I just wait for it to pass. But instead of slowly regaining control, I just see a bizarre room emerge from the darkness. Whoa. It is not the one you were looking for, it says. He was led like a lamb to the slaughter, and as sheep is silent before the shearers, he did not open his mouth. There is none righteous, not even one. There is none who understands. There is none who seeks for God. All have turned aside. Who the hell is this? If anyone must curse his father or mother, he must be put to death. Raging waves of the sea, foaming up their own shame. Wandering stars, for whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Huh. And in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. Whenever I become one with the darkness, there's always this nagging fear it might be impossible to become the normal me again. That instead of the shadows returning to normal, I will let my consciousness be dragged somewhere else. Somewhere between the worlds. Somewhere like this. Wherever this is. Huh. Specters. Well, sit in this chair. Still in the lean years and unworthy of joining the rest. Is this other La Sombra? Hold on. However, the path is open, and it is a path of obligation, liability, a debt that will be repaid one day. When she asks you what brought you here, let your response be the scent of death. Okay. That was weird. Oh, hold on, who's this? Easy peasy, I mean you know. How long have you been there? I don't know. I've got no idea what I'm doing here, or in general, really. It's like sometimes the forces I control figure out how to control me. What are you, a junkie? No, you're kindred. Yeah. Julius Lewinsky, the representative of La Sombra in New York City. Camarilla? Huh? I'm a Camarilla investigator. Well, if you're here to catch me, you're gonna be sorry you tried, Miss La Sombra. No. Stop right there. I wasn't ordered to catch anybody. I'm just investigating Douglas Callahan's death. Callahan is dead? Nothing left but a rotten carcass and a musty road. Well, I'll be damned. I've been off the grid for too long. What brought you here? Scent of death. She lets me go. I rub my eyes and finally get to... Oh, okay, so the vision was about her. She's gorgeous, and judging by her nomadic clothes and a particularly fierce aura, she's probably an outlander. Clan Gangrel. Whoa. Clan Gangrel is made of those who have fallen through the cracks of society. They call the cruelest neighborhoods home, and they consider this a point of pride. They hold few domains and follow no prince. This clan embraces from the ranks of those who have already spilled blood and had their blood spilled, who have survived the harshest conditions, who have fought against horrible odds and still came out on top. Prison gang leaders, vagrants, and any other kind who have seen the darkest sides of the world. Occasionally, I'm told, you'll see one who breaks this mold and pursues knowledge or influence instead. Among the Gangrel, respect is everything, and is always earned, never given. Commonly referred to as wolves, ferals, or outcasts, or if you want to piss them off, animals, strays, or savages. We'll have a talk, you and I. Tamika? Oh, wow, okay. Just, we get a plot device and we find the fourth name on the list. Wait, doesn't that mean we've investigated all of them? We haven't met D'Angelo yet, but they said tomorrow. Oh, I get it. Were these guys first light? The high-powered guns and expensive-looking outfits, flashbangs, tasers, all chosen specifically to combat the undead. I recognize that equipment from some horror stories I've heard. First Light, SI, USSOCOM, whatever they call themselves, they all bleed the same. Usually before I have the chance to ask them a single question. Government-funded inquisitors. Some claim they're connected to the US government. Some claim they're supported by the anti-kindred faction, the Holy See. Some have even wilder theories. Did this all by yourself? Have you seriously seen nothing? Nothing at all? Shake my head. Believe it or not, I have no idea how I got here. I just kinda let the shadows guide me. Is that a La Sombra thing? I never actually talked to any of you. No idea what you guys can actually do. Still learning the ropes myself. Go with the flow and all that. My embrace was just a few months ago. Huh, so you folks with the ivory tower now. Last checked, you were with the Sabbat. The Camis wouldn't forgive all the trouble you caused them overnight. The Sabbat. An extremist sect that fully enjoys their predatory tendencies and doesn't think highly of mortals. Largely believed to be embroiled in bringing about an eschatological vampire-on-vampire conflict known as the Gehenna War. They were driven away from the West over the last few decades. I've heard that New York City used to be Sabbat-controlled until 1999. The La Sombra, my clan, used to be the thinkers behind these wackos, but we've since thrown our lot in with the Camarilla. Okay, so what is the past regime? Again, I'm practically still a neonate. I know there's a lot of bad blood between my clan and the others, and that I can expect at least one glare of pure contempt whenever I visit Elysium. Oh. Is there a large SI presence in New York City? The Kindred are classified as a terrorist presence. There's no other American city that was hit as hard by terrorism as this one. All secret agencies need symbolic victories. You do the math. And you're still taking on these guys on here? Still taking these guys on here, of all places? Aren't they extremely dangerous? Almost got me for good last year. Took me a few weeks to get back in action. Then why are you doing this? Oh, boy. Those motherfuckers have an unfortunate tendency to hurt people I care about. I don't know how it is in other cities, but here, funny enough, they only seem to target marginalized and radicalized kindred. Ones that could theoretically pose a threat to the current order. Oh, so they're even a tool of the current Camarilla, I'm guessing. Meanwhile, the establishment in New York City hasn't really changed ever since Calibro stepped down. Quite the opposite. Every SI raid in the city has only strengthened the old paradigm. Almost makes you think that their goal is something other than protecting the citizens from the blank body menace. Okay, so they're being manipulated too. Maybe they even work for the Camarilla. Let me get this straight. You really think I'm dumb enough to believe for 1 second? No. Okay. I don't care about the SI. And I don't care if you believe it. It was a happy accident I met you, especially considering not even the sheriff knows where you are. Huh. But I care about solving the mystery of Callahan's death, and as it happens, we're one of the pieces of the puzzle. What are you talking about? I found this on the body. Well, what remained of it. I show her the note. She tries to grab it to read it, but I don't let her. Aside from your name, you've got Hope, Agathon, and D'Angelo. You know them? Passingly. Any idea why Callahan would need a list of all your names? I might know why, yeah. Do you? Absolutely. Do you know a man going by the name of Torque? Of course I do. You know about his connection to Boss Callahan, and by proxy to this list and me? Nope, I'm all ears. Well, too bad, because it's classified intel, sister. What do you mean classified? Not free. Oh, great. As if I were in a position to or could afford any sort of quid pro quo. But fine, let's hear it. What do you want? She motions towards the bodies. Kill too many of these assholes. They're tightening the screws. As it is, New York City is no longer safe for someone like me. Well, not that it ever was. Oh man, bracing for something unreasonable. What I need is a way out of the city. You offer that to me, I give you the intel you need. Oh, would you look at that? That's something I can handle, actually. Oh, what a coincidence. You're actually the customs officer. Okay. That's a surprisingly confident answer for a practically still a neonate. I'm something of an immigration officer. Gotta say, you sound awfully close to a cop. Almost as bad, a bureaucrat. I know a secret pathway that will lead you to the West Coast. 100% safe travel. If you took it, you'd be untraceable. Sounds too good to be true. What's the catch? Wait until you see how much it costs. The only reason I know of this route is because a certain Nazi criminal group reached out and offered me on account of my position. and offered a mutually beneficial deal regarding illegal kindred travel. Nosferatu. Oh, hey. Rats, carnies, scabs, orlocks. Nope. The clan of the hidden are the untouchables of our world. Lepers, sewer rats, carnies. Embraced by a Nosferatu results in extreme disfigurement, a nasty side effect of their blood. Their grotesqueries can mimic birth defects, cancer growths, or horrible injuries, but the Nosferatu are, by default, the most compassionate of the kindred, probably due to the humiliations they suffer on a daily basis. To blend in, some call on the blood to wear the borrowed faces of their victims, or to vanish altogether. Others get very, very good at stagecraft, costumes, prosthetics, and makeup. Normally I refuse, but they offered me the only thing that can buy me. A lot of cash. Fine then. Money's not an issue. Now that's something I've never had a chance to ever say in earnest. Okay then. Should assist me first, then we'll figure out how to transport you out of the city. Is this really the extent of your negotiation skills? Why would you think this kind of line would work? I didn't. I just don't think either of us trust the other enough to afford the benefit of the doubt. It's an impasse. That is true. Let me think. Have you met Torque before? In the course of your investigation or before? I wanted to, but on the Anarch side, I only managed to meet Mia. She wasn't keen on the idea of the two of us meeting. Yes, Mia. Her expression betrays she's got some vicious stories to tell, but it would be beneath her to divulge them. Too bad. Maybe it could be a bonding experience. So here's the thing. A few months ago, Torque and I were together. A lot of things happened. Long story short, I no longer feel close to him. But from what I know, he still feels close to me. Back when I thought there was something between us, I gave him a ring that has a lot of sentimental value to me. And since these days, sentimentality is all that keeps me going back. I want it back. My suggestion is, tell Torque's people I sent you to get inside his base of operations. Meet up with him, ask your questions, and convince him to give my ring back. You get to interrogate him, then I get to have my ring back, then you get to hear my side of the story. Then I get to leave the city with your help. Everybody wins, more than once. You really let me in just because I tell them you sent me? They will, trust me. Sounds too easy. What caused the two of you to drift apart? Irreconcilable differences in worldview. Well, I assume that's a diplomatic answer. If I'm going to involve myself in the relationship drama with two ex-lovers, I'll need something more to go on. Will you? Yeah. I realize I've become an element of his carefully crafted, projected image. Having me as a radical partner allowed him to present himself as a mediator, while paying lip service to revolutionary ideas. Oh, so he became a reactionary. Okay, a mediator. That's the 21st century for you. Everyone wants to be a middleman these days, and nobody wants to do what's right. You serious? Whenever I hear about Torque from the Ancilla, they talk about him like he's the second coming of Mao. If he ever seemed that, it's only because from time to time, people like me pushed him into doing the uneasy thing. Ever heard of the Southern Wolf and the Northern Fox? Both of them want to eat you for dinner, but only the Southern Wolf makes it immediately obvious. The tricky Northern Fox makes eyes and allows you to pet him before taking a bite. Torque loves to surround himself with Northern Foxes. They talk of compromises. They seem reasonable compared to the opposition. But at the end of the day, they have eyes on the same prize, power. Okay, so I'm guessing he's not as, revolutionary. What the hell are you doing? Here's the Torque. There's Torque, okay. There he is walking through the door. One of the most infamous New York City barons. Or some people start calling him, the moment Callahan met his end, the Baron of New York City. The situation is a little different now. Tamika sent her. What? Bullshit. I wasn't able to track her down for weeks. Well, I did. This is a reason to celebrate, not get mad. Now, if you allowed the two of us a private conversation. You'll keep an eye on the exit, and that will be enough, please. Okay. Sorry about her. She can be overzealous, but usually that's not a bad thing. Yeah, sure. So has she told you I've been trying to reach you for a few nights? I don't think so. Have you? Well, I'm the dumbass the court ordered to investigate Callahan's final death. So considering connection to the case, I thought it would be prudent for us to talk. I know you're probably anxious to hear about Tamika. I'm surprised to hear you two know each other. We actually met through this investigation. Anyway, as I was saying, I know you probably can't wait to ask about her, but I'd like to ask you a few questions first. Did you guys know each other? Of course I did. We were both barons. Kept having professional obligations to meet each other, but that was it. What was your private opinion of him? Same as everyone else's. A racist clown, mentally stuck in the 18th century, who spent too much time keeping the anarchs down. Glad he's gone. Well, you know what they say. Hate to see you go, love to watch you leave. Weren't you the first kindred who saw his corpse? I was, but it was his ghouls who found him. By the way, we've established that some of them tampered with the crime scene. They were properly disciplined for that? Convenient story. Let's move on. What's the alibi for that night? None. I was running around town the entire night, taking care of various issues. Unrelated to Callahan, but I don't intend to divulge them to someone from the Ivory Tower. My official position was made clear. It's the Camarilla who are to blame. It's your job to prove me wrong. Korwa Mach. At least for once, can I face a problem that can be solved with pure logic, not politics? Any findings on your side I should know of? Ask Mia. She's the one who handled the murder scene. I'm not privy to all the details. Hope, D'Angelo, Agathon. Any idea who these people are? Okay. The evidence I've found suggests a potential link between Callahan and Tamika. Any clue? I knew both of them well, but as far as I know, they had never met. That's it. Oh well, not sure what could be expected. He's the kind of guy who can only be pushed to talk by something concrete to push him with. Fine. I'll cut to the chase. She wanted to inform you she'll be skipping town for a while. The SI is hot on her trail and she needs to lose him ASAP. Oh, I told her countless times. If she's in danger, I'll always be there for her. Does she think she can find a secure way out of the city in this situation? You see. So you say. She's got some other friends in high places. She'll manage to get out. Gotta admit, that's not what I wanted to hear. Or what I expected to hear, or what I wanted to hear. Why did she decide to contact me? She wants her ring back. His aura changes in the blink of an eye. Ah, I see now. So that's why she didn't show up herself. Wouldn't even face me when delivering the final insult. She said the ring was a symbol of the trust she put in me. No way in hell I'm gonna give it away. Not until she gives me the chance to explain myself. I need that ring to get Tamika to talk, but with the way he's acting, it doesn't seem likely he'll part with it. Well, might require me to act shitty, but maybe time to change my approach? Ooh. Is it time for big lies? Fuck it, here we go. Okay, time to see how she's gonna justify this. Listen, you're obviously the hottest new thing in town. People like you, people follow you. You're set to be the anarch people think of when they think of New York City. Good for you. But you're obviously way behind when it comes to understanding relationships. Tamika gave it a serious try. She understood her path, she understood yours. She realized they're diametrically opposed. And that's that. You're not going to change her mind by acting like a toxic shithead and forcing her to come grovel at your feet. She wants to get something back that has great sentimental value to her. You want to earn her trust again? Don't act like a power-tripping asshole. Show her you're capable of responding to her concerns and that you're capable of being selfless. That's the only thing you can do to change her mind. Sorry. Well, that's it. I guess that didn't work. Oh boy. Another mission failed. Let me put it this way. I'm not surprised you dumped him. He got mad and started yelling about how he will yet prove himself to be worthy of that gift. Then he ran me out of the building. What's so funny? Nothing. I'll be honest. I kind of expected that. It's just nice to get a definite confirmation. He's still a bit of a toxic asshole. That's all. Well, glad I fell for the oldest trick in the book. Would be cool if, for once, a kindred telling me to do one thing didn't mean another thing entirely. Oh, don't be mad. I wanted to be sure of something, and now I am. As far as I'm concerned, you kept your end of the bargain. It's time I repay the favor. Oh, good. Hey, I think it would have worked out either way then. Like, this game gives you the illusion of your decision mattering. But either you get the ring, or she's okay with your conclusions. So, Last year, a certain fledgling appeared in the city. So, from what I hear, this game's an expansion to another game, and the fledgling is the main character of that one. Attempted to build a coterie. That list you found on Callahan, that's the list they got. They contacted each of us, and then found themselves in deep shit. SI, Kaiser, Sophie Langley, some shadow players manipulating everything from behind the scenes. Then they disappeared. Kaiser, that name popping up once again. It can't be a coincidence. No one knows where or why. Doesn't really matter. That happens when you punch way above your weight. Hope you're doing fine despite all odds. In any case, Torque got involved too. That's how I met him, actually. He got hurt. Didn't want to say how. Claimed it put anyone who knew in danger. Whatever happened, it gave him the drive and the desire for change. For 2 months, he was a beautiful kindred. Plain and simple. Oh. But suddenly, something in him snapped overnight. His tone mellowed out, his actions became timid, his language became more befitting of a political science student than a charismatic leader. I assumed he met someone who made him an offer he couldn't refuse, but I had no idea who that was. Did we find out from, well, probably something from the main game maybe? So I guess these people all appeared in the previous game, and you're just supposed to know who they are, but I don't, so... Then one night I followed him when he went out and saw him scheming at the docks of Callahan. When he came back, we had an argument. When he refused to explain myself, I knew I was on my way out. That was that. Wish I'd known that earlier. Might have confronted the facts and learned something more. He never told me of all kindred. What makes you think he would have told you? Alright, thank you. Now it's my turn. Here's your way out. Here's a map of the sewers, follow the route, and then burn it. You'll be looking for a one-eyed Nosferatu wearing tactical gear. Tell him I sent you, then give him the agreed-upon amount of money. What kind of route will I be taking anyway? An armored van full of precious coffins. My man knows how to arrange them to allow for an extra unnoticed cargo. Face darkens. The circulatory system? What did you expect? The rich and powerful always get the blood they want one way or another. At least tonight, one of their routes will be used for something good. She drops her shoulders in resignation, opens up the manhole cover. Fine, but remember, if this doesn't work, I'll be back on your doorstep with a vengeance if it's the last thing I do. I'm sure it'll work out fine. Just beware of a giant albino ghoul alligator while you're down there. Sewer ghoul alligator? For your information, it's just a story New York kindred tell the neonates to mess with them while they're still gullible enough to believe anything they hear about their new world. Oh, that makes sense, I suppose. Well, this is a goodbye. If in the first few months you hear that First Light's presence in Los Angeles has been decimated, assume that against all odds, I'm still on live and kicking. If you keep killing indiscriminately, you might cross the line of no return, you know? Shouldn't you take it easy for a while? Oh, not until my brothers and sisters in blood stop being slaughtered. I care about what's left of my humanity, but turning a blind eye on kindred in need would be even less human. So that's the kind of person she is, and probably will be until the very end. Must be comforting in a way, to know your path will end, yet follow it all the same. I could never do that. Here's some parting advice for you. We might be monsters, but we were lucky enough to be born into a world that's even more monstrous than we are. If we rebel against it, we might still find salvation. If only I could believe it. Didn't expect this preaching tone. Why are you telling me this? Because I think I have a pretty good nose for people's auras, and when I take a good look at you, I smell the possibility that you'll give in to the fear of the dark visions of the future you've conjured in your head. It's not much, just a hunch, but you seem prone to giving in to the Camarilla's empty promises of safety and their petit bourgeois values. I think I should take offense to that. I hope you do. That will reflect well on you. In any case, whatever happens, see you in your next life, Julia. I managed to get my deadlines postponed. All of our clients are canceling and delaying orders left and right. Ooh. Ooh, damn. That's rough. Alright, that's another session. I wonder how many, Alright, we'll call it for today. I think we'll probably